Hi everyone and welcome back. Now it's come to my attention that a lot of people have started purchasing these. Either if you're starting out a new workshop or just looking for a reasonably priced planer thicknesser. This planer thicknesser I've had for approximately 6 years now and I absolutely love it. It's been a fantastic workhorse ever since I've got it all the way up to today. Now I've had to change the blades only once on this machine, luckily. This was mainly due to not knowing too much about the planer thicknesser when I first got it, putting through some really rough material and it just chewed them up pretty quickly. Now since this time I've learnt to use this machine a lot better, and doing so I've been able to create a little jig just to sharpen up these blades that are now in the machine. Now this is the jig that I was just talking about. It was just a piece of offcut that I had lying around. I made sure that this face was absolutely flat, and then I was able to find the angle from the actual blade itself, transfer that over to my table saw blade, set the angle, and then I was able to cut these two V-notches out here. Now as you can see there's some screws in here. Now these are for lining up the blade and holding them into place. When you purchase new blades they come like this. These are the Erbauer ones, especially for this machine. Come in this protective case and you'll get to like this. So if I'm going to be using this jig, I'll be placing one blade in there and the other in there, using these holes for the screws just to fasten everything down. Okay, now we've fixed the blades into place, what I would normally do is using a piece of double-sided tape, fix this A4 piece of sandpaper down to a flat surface. Now I'm only going to show you as a quick demonstration what you need to do, so I won't be doing that today. But I like to use maybe 2 or 3 different types of grits. Now depending on the quality of your blades when you come to sharpen them, you'd probably start with, I don't know, a 120 or a 240. But if they're really pitted, you may want to start with either a 60 or an 80 and working your way up as high as grit as you can get. Also, another technique you can use is using a marker pen. You can put that onto the blade surface, so when you start sharpening the blades you'll be able to see straight off the bat if it's sharpening one side more than the other. Okay, these are pretty old blades. I think these were the first ever blades that came with the machine itself. They have got pits in them, and to be fair, I'm glad I changed them in the end. They do need a lot of work, maybe even going over with a grinder just to get out the deeper of the pits. But once you do the grinding, if you place it back into this jig here, they should be good as new. Okay, we've now sharpened the blades and they're sparkling, clean, good as new. So what we need to do now is take out the old blades and put the new ones back in. First off, you have this lever here. It is detachable. This raises and lowers the bed for the thicknessing part of the planer. Next off, we'll remove these 2 screws here. Now this is the main protective hood, so when you're pushing your timber through the lower part of the thicknesser, all the sawdust will be coming out from the main top here, so this will funnel all your chip-ins into your vacuum or simply out of this chute here. I'd just like to point out that you do have a safety nub on here, so when the hood goes down in place, it does have a safety button, So once this button is pressed down, you can use the machine safely. So now that the hood is removed, you'll see that we have these bolts here. Now these bolts hold this metal strip against the blade, which holds it into place. To remove the blade, we need to loosen off these bolts here. Because I know that this blade is set at the correct height, I won't be untightening these bolts. But when you take these bolts out of the place, you can then remove the blade, sharpen it, and to replace them, you do exactly the same thing, putting the blade in so it looks like that. There's the flat of the blade there. So it's going into the wood coming in this way here. So when you're ready to start screwing these bolts down, you'll need this jig here. Now this jig comes with the machine and will sit on this side. Now this side of the fence is the adjustable side and this is the fixed side. So this plate on this side does not move. So you place the jig on that side, and as you can see, the blade touches the underside of this jig here. So with that in place, push down firmly and pull back. And then what I like to do is start tightening up both ends first, working my way into the middle. Making sure at all times you're keeping a firm grip on this jig to make sure that the blade is seated firmly. When this side is done, remove the jig, turn it over and do the other side. Doing exactly the same. As you can see, it doesn't matter where it's positioned, at all times that jig is always touching the top of the blade. And now we're ready to test it. Now when it comes to testing, you do need to be careful that the blades are firmly in place. Now I've never had it myself, but when you turn the machine it rotates at a very high RPM. So making sure that all those bolts are tightly in place is for your own safety. When I'm testing the machine for the first time after I change the blades, I do like to have the hood back on the top, so if any of the blades do come loose, they will go into this plastic hood first before they go into the ceiling. Now I've hoped you liked that demonstration. That is how I would like to change my blades on a planer fixer, and also sharpening as well. If you found this video useful, please do click the like button down below, and also as well make sure you click subscribe so you're aware of all my new videos that come out. Please also note that you can now follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Until next time, I'll see you soon.